Today I'm going to show you how you can create a simple window with text and shapes that you can point and drag on a touchscreen connected to an Arduino Uno. First, we need to learn how to draw a simple box on the screen. To do this, I'm using the Adafruit graphics library that allows us to easily draw text, images and shapes on the screen. And then I'm using the Adafruit LCD library that allows us to send instructions to the LCD driver chip built into the display. Then we need to make some definitions, such as the connections to the display, the hex codes for the different colors we want to use, and then what driver chip that we're using on the display. And we can create a new object using all the connections that we've defined that go to this screen. And some basic information about our box, such as its x coordinates, its y coordinates, and its width to the right of the x coordinate, and its height going down from the y coordinate. Where here we want to reset our screen, then we want to initialize it using that chip driver code we found earlier. Then we can fill the screen with this cool blue color, and then use the fill rectangle command to draw a very simple box using the x and y we defined earlier, the width and height, and then whatever color we want it to fill with. Next, to make it look more like a window, we can add a heading box with a title and an icon. To make things more organized, we can create the draw frame function, which will contain all of the instructions for drawing the frame and its contents on the screen. Here we can define some variables to do with our heading, such as the max amount of characters we want the label to be and the text for the frame's label. We can also do some calculations so that our text is roughly in the middle. We can make a dark grey box for the background of the frame and a darker grey box for the background of the heading. And then all we need to do now is just add the heading text based on the heading text X and Y we worked out earlier, and then the text itself. And lastly, we can add a small black box in the corner of the display and our triangle icon. Now we can get creative adding text and shapes on our new page. Drawing the contents of the frame is super easy. All we need to do is offset it using the X and Y of the frame itself. Because all of our frame elements are based on the 0,0 of the frame and not the 0,0 of the screen, it means that when we move the frame, we also move all of these elements. We now need to add the Adafruit driver for the touchscreen, the connections to the touchscreen, and its drawable area dimensions. First, we need to read data from the screen, and then work out if it's pressed hard enough to count as an actual press. We can now get rid of the old frame by drawing a blue box over it, and then map in the point based within that drawable area we defined earlier. Because all we need to do now is update the X and Y coordinates based on the point, and centering the window around the icon, and then redrawing the new frame.